Hello and welcome. My name is Mandea. We know the internet is full of ads, sometimes good ads, but most of the time really annoying ads. And sometimes ads that can lead you to download malware and compromise your computer and your identity online. So you can install ad blockers in all web browsers that you use. But there's still a lot of domains out there that can still track your usage online. So how do you solve this problem? Well, one way to do it is to install a network-wide ad blocker. And in this case, you can use PiHole. PiHole also blocks ads in non-traditional places, such as in games, in code editors, and on smart TVs. It's basically a black hole for the internet. Network-wide ad blocking can actually help you save on bandwidth because it blocks a lot of domains that use the internet unnecessarily. So to use PiHole, all you need is a Raspbian, Ubuntu, Debian, Fedora-based system. And you can spin it up in a Docker container, or you can use a Raspberry Pi. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use a Raspberry Pi to set up a network-wide ad blocking system using PiHole. So I'll be using the Raspberry Pi 3, and you can use any Raspberry Pi, even Pi 0, because PiHole doesn't take a lot of resources. So if you're an absolute beginner, I'll go through the process of setting up a new Raspberry Pi, installing PiHole, and then getting started with using it. So without further ado, let's get to it. For absolute Raspberry Pi beginners, the first thing you'll need to do is pick up a Raspberry Pi. You can pick any version all the way down to Pi 0, since PiHole is a simple program and doesn't require resources beyond an OS and network configuration capabilities. In this tutorial, I'll be using Raspberry Pi 3 Plus. You'll need a micro SD card. We will format and install Raspbian on it. Your SD card should have a capacity of at least 8 GB. I'll be using a 32 GB micro SD card. You'll also need an Ethernet cable, a power supply. This is a USB charger with at least 2.5 amps for Raspberry Pi 3. You'll also need a wired keyboard and a mouse. Once you've set up your Pi, you can use a Bluetooth keyboard or mouse, but you will need a USB keyboard and mouse for the initial setup. You would also need a TV or a computer screen with HDMI input. The Pi has an HDMI output, and that's how we will view the Raspbian operating system. The first step is to set up your micro SD card to be able to install the Raspbian operating system via Noobs. You'll need a computer that can read the micro SD card. We will use the Noobs software as it's the easiest way to install Raspbian. Head over to Raspberry Pi downloads page. All links will be provided in the description box below. Click on the Noobs box and click to download the zip file. While the file is downloading, insert the micro SD card into your computer and format the card to FAT so it's readable by all systems. The formatting process is similar to how you format a disk or flash drive. If you're on Windows or Mac, you can download the SD memory card formatter software and install, open, select your SD card, the card format, and click Format. Once the download is completed, unzip the file, open your SD card, and drag and drop the unzipped files onto your SD card. Once the files have been copied over, you can eject the SD card. Now it's time to connect our Raspberry Pi to the peripherals. Insert the SD card we just set up with Noobs. Connect the mouse and keyboard. It doesn't matter which USB slot you use. Next is the screen or monitor. Connect via the HDMI slot on the Pi. Then connect your Ethernet cable to your Pi. In my case, my router has an Ethernet port which is connected to my PC as a LAN. So I will use a switch by connecting my router directly to the switch and then my PC and Raspberry Pi to the switch. If you have enough ports on your router, then there's no need to use a switch. You can connect the Pi directly. Lastly, connect the power. You'll see a red LED light and then a slowly blinking green light. At this point, your Pi will start booting up on the screen. If your Pi doesn't boot up, make sure everything is connected properly and power sockets to the Pi and monitor or screen are turned on. We will now install Raspbian. Raspbian is a free Debian-based computer operating system. optimized for the Raspberry Pi hardware. As it boots up, the first thing you'll see is the Noob's installer. As a beginner, it's recommended to install the full Raspbian OS. Select it and click on Install. Installation will take a while to complete. Once Raspbian is installed, click OK, and after a few seconds of provisioning, the Raspbian desktop will appear. Okay, so what we need to do now is install PiHole. The installation process is very simple. So go to PiHole.net and click on Install PiHole. This brings us to a page. All we need to do is run this command in our terminal. So I'm actually recording from Ubuntu, and that's because I SSH'd into my Raspberry Pi, and now I'm accessing the graphical desktop from Ubuntu using VNC. But it's the same as connecting to your display and using it directly. So what we're gonna do now is copy this command, go to Raspberry Pi, and open up a terminal. And we will paste this command. So hit enter. Now we're just gonna wait for PiHole to do its thing. It's beginning the installation process, and so this is the installer, and we're gonna follow the prompt. So now you can hit OK. So this says PiHole is free, but it's powered by your donation. So I think if you really like the software, you should probably consider donating. PiHole serves as a server, and it needs a static IP address to function properly. And that's why it's a good idea to use maybe a Docker container, or in this case a Raspberry Pi, because your IP address wouldn't change every time based on like your internet provider. All right, so you can choose an interface. Hit OK, and okay, so here you can select a DNS provider, and there's so many options out there. What you can do is maybe just Google and figure out which one works best for you, but I usually prefer Google, and I think that's what a lot of people use anyways. So yeah, you can just select whichever one works for you, but I will stick with Google and hit enter. All right, so you can hit continue. And here you can select the protocols that you want to set PiHole with, IPv4 and IPv6. I think I'm just going to go with both. So do you want to use your current network settings as a static address? I would just go with yes. So basically this is your IP address. This is your IP address. And if you ever want to SSH into your Pi, that's what you're going to use. And to access the PiHole admin interface, you're also going to need the IP address. All right, so okay, IPv6 supported. Do you wish to install the web admin interface? I would recommend you do so because that's how you're going to see the domains that are being blocked, and you can manage a few things from there. And the UI is pretty cool too. So just going to hit enter. Yeah. Do you want to log queries? I think it's also a good idea. It allows you to see like every single domain that's being blocked. So select a privacy mode for FTL. I'm just gonna leave it as show everything. All right, and once we're done, it's gonna start cloning PiHole and do the installation. Okay, and that's it. The installation is complete. So don't close this dialog box because you need the information on the screen. So you can see the DNS for the IPv4 and the IPv6, as well as a login password for the PiHole admin interface. What I suggest you do is either write this down or just take a picture of it with your phone. Hit enter, and your installation is complete. And that's it. We have PiHole installed. Now we need to change our DNS settings, either on our client or directly on the router. The advantage of setting it on your router is that the DNS resolver address of the Pi can then be provided via DHCP to every client on the network. Right, so everyone's router is different, and as a result, it might not be the same thing that you're looking at, but they're all quite similar. So if you go to your Ethernet settings, over here you can see DNS server. So this is the previous PiHole that I was using before I started doing the tutorial. So what you're gonna do now is enter the IP address for the DNS that was provided in the screenshot. And I think mine ended with 197. I think it's the same, but just 197. And hit apply. And that's it. The DNS server has been pointed to my PiHole. So to access the Pi admin panel, you type in the IP address that was provided on the screenshot. I think mine ended with 7.197 and /admin and hit enter. So it brings us to the PiHole console. And first you need to log in. The password that was provided. All right, and once you log in, this is the dashboard, and we haven't started blocking any queries yet, but this is just an overview of what you would see once you actually start using PiHole. And you can view the query logs, so you can see all the domains that have been blocked. You can even whitelist domains. You can also blacklist a few websites. So if you wanted to blacklist facebook.com, you can blacklist an exact wildcard or a regex domain, and every device that's connected to your network wouldn't have access to that. Okay, so I hope this was actually helpful and you can get to try it. You can use it with any Raspberry Pi because PiHole doesn't consume a lot of resources. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this, let me know, and let me know if you'd like me to make more videos on Raspberry Pi and just different things that you can do with Raspberry Pi. All right, have a good day and bye.